Greetings, everybody. By recent videos by everybody else today, Sir Rupert the Knight and Cold Heat by Truth Surge, it's sort of inspired me to share I have a little short story. But this short story is really just a snippet from an idea of a trilogy that I'm thinking about writing. I still need to do a little brainstorming, but I have basically the raw meat of the idea of the world and the things that are going to happen. What I inspire it to be like is sort of like, well, it's going to have a unique magic system, and that's going to be similar to that of the Wheel of Time, but that there are going to be differences. There is not going to be a male-female system. It's going to be certain modes of thought, certain philosophies, and certain chants in order to get you to do the right spells, that sort of thing. There's also going to be alchemy in the world, and there's also going to be science in that world. It's going to be, you know, all divided in those camps. There's going to be a pivotal time where everything's going to change. I'm not trying to spoil anything here, because I already know who are going to be bad guys and why, but I don't want to kind of spoil that, because there's a lot of play to it. But there's going to be a lot of play on all sorts of ideas, such as transhumanism, technology, and things like that. And it's all going to be within a sort of magic book or fantasy book that I'm thinking of writing. So here's a little small story that I had to write for my English class. So this is a part of that, and this is sort of like a idea. So here goes. Sweat rolled down Arlen's face. A final series of blows he hammered out on the sword. He threw down the hammer and turned to thrust the sword in the water. Steam obscured his father's smiling face. "Looks like I'll make a good blacksmith out of you yet, boy," his father bellowed. For generations, Arlen's family has been blacksmiths. Never a rich family, most certainly never a poor family either, as fortune has it. Change is the only constant. Today is the day that indeed does change fortune for Arlen and his family. "Oh, am I becoming a good now, am I?" Arlen smirked. He wiped the sweat off his forehead. "By the gods, don't get me started," his father replied. "For days I've had to yell at you to get you to do it right." Arlen hands him the sword and says, "When do you ever not yell at me?" Laughing, his father chuckled. "Always a smart arse. If you didn't always have your head in the clouds, I wouldn't need to yell at you." Nodding in approval of the sword, he continued, "Well, it looks like you've been paying attention finally. Good enough for right now. Take a break. It's almost lunchtime anyway, so I can smell your mother's famous stew. Or should I say infamous stew." "I heard that," his mother shrieked from the kitchen. Both men laughed as they began to take off their aprons. Curiously, sounds of horse-drawn carriages echoed from the streets. It was just too loud for one. Rushing to the street, Arlen could see where the carriage was coming from. "Well, I'll be, and the seal of His Holiness and the King of the land," his father said, pointing to the carriages where they were all black, and with the seal on the side having 3 pointed white star on the side inside a blue circle. All 4 were empty, but the first one had only 1 person in it. "What do you suppose they need with all those empty carriages, Pa?" Arlen said. "I have no idea. However, it does seem that they're headed for the town square, his father replied. So they followed the carriages around the corner into the town square. As they rounded the corner, they saw the first man in the first carriage get out and then proceed to hammer a proclamation on the town board. Then they turned around, got back in the carriage, and appearing ahead to the nearest luxurious inn in the town. The spectacle did not take long to draw a crowd. Some were pressing forward to read the letter, while others that could see it would be befuddled by its words. "What does it say?" one man shouted in the back. Others quickly chorused, making quite a commotion. "Quiet, quiet!" the town mayor yelled. "Can't exactly hear if you too busy talking." The mayor clears his throat and pressed on reading from the letter. "By edict of His Holiness, from this day forth, all males from ages 14 to 25 and all married females from 16 to 25 will submit to testing to the recruiter the next morning after his arrival. For the purposes of the magical quotient, those who will pass will be automatically enrolled in the Crystal Casual Magic School and cannot be refused. Cooperation is required. No one is excused from these tests if they meet the above requirements. Those who refuse will be put to death, and those who will help others that do not cooperate will receive a bounty of 200 gold crowns." A low murmur rose from the crowds. "That's ridiculous. The nobles cannot keep up their numbers in the school anymore. Ha! What does one expect to get from us? People! The male cut back in. "We all know the numbers of the nobles that can wield the sword has been falling for generations. But we also know that ever so often commoners like us can do so. If we cannot get our numbers up, who will protect us from the nation of Galilee to the west, or protect us from the raids from the Sagan to the south? Let no one here have an excuse why they're not here tomorrow, as decreed. Let the gods have mercy on those whose souls, if they do not. Now get out of my square before I start whipping someone. Let's go on. We don't want to get our mother's stew growing cold," the father said, turning to go. "May the gods have mercy on us all," Erland jokingly replied. "Don't you dare go to that school, young man," Mother said over the table. "It's not like he has a choice, dear," the father replied, grimacing at the stew. "Oh, they never found out," his mother shot back. "Oh, really, Mother?" Erland said. "What about the census last year? Or how about the Griswolds down the street? I think they'll love that 200 gold crown bounty," she sighed. His mother sighed. "They never really liked us since you refused their daughter's hand in marriage, saying that she looked like a man, and she was such a nice girl. Why did you ever do that?" Both men roared in laughter as Erland replied, "She does look like a man. Her mustache is thicker than mine." His father quickly followed. "That woman has a stare that could kill a basilisk at its own game. You only liked her because she liked your cooking." "Faugh!" Mother retorted. "Well, you better not pass," waving her finger at Erland. He quickly moved to open his mouth, but she shot him a cold stare. He knew that they had ways of knowing. He also knew you could not contradict Mother with that cold stare. Pain and suffering, Paula thought. I see another reason why she liked Jessica Griswold. They're peas in the same pod, except for that damn mustache. Thank the gods.